Okay, now we want to look at loops. Remember, we said loops are used to repeat a program over and over again. So if you want to repeat a program a number of times, you make use of loops. As we are going to see, basically, just like when you talk of control statements, we talk of the if, the else if else, and the switch statements. And looking at the loops, we've got the while, the do while, and the for loop. So today we are going to look at the while, the do while, and the for loop. As you can see, according to the program that I've designed, I'm trying to make use of the while loop. So what I've done is I've declared num as the number because my program is going to be talking about numbers. And then, of course, there are three things that you need to take note of as you write your loops. Make sure that you initialize, make sure that you put the condition, and make sure that you increment or decrement. So the first thing that you do as you write your while loop is to initialize. You initialize, but I've initialized it to 0 because I want it to start at 0. If you want your number to start anywhere, you put that number as the initial value. So I've initialized it to be equal to 0 because I want it to start from 0. Then I will put the condition. Now the condition is while, and what is inside the bracket is the condition that number must be less or equal to 5. So this program will allow me to will enter 5 numbers. Actually, will enter from 0 to 5 at the output. So I want it to repeat entering these numbers until it reaches the fifth number. So while I'm saying should be less or equal to 5, and I'll say printf, the number is %d, number. So again, we said we must have the initial value, we must initialize, we must have the condition, and we must increment or decrement. From our operators, we have the post and the pre-increment, and I've decided to use the post increment where I'm saying that number must increment. So it means that it must increment until it satisfies the condition that is inside the bracket. So as we run the program, you see that we must have our number starting from 0 up to until it is less or equal to 5, and it must increment. So let's run the program and see. So as you can see from the program, we are starting from 0 and we are saying up to 5. Suppose we wanted to change our condition to 10, we simply say 10, and we want it to start from 1 this time. So if you run the program, it will start from 1 and it will also end at 10. So as you can see, it is now starting from 1 up to 10. Suppose we want to make use of the decrement function. It means that we can change here and say let the number be greater or equal to this time 5 or 0, and we want it to start from 5 and we want it to decrement. So we put the minus, and if we run the program, it must decrement 543 up to 0. So basically, this is how we make use of the while function. The while function will execute the statement. It will check the condition and execute the statement. So let's look at the do while. So to write the do while, I'm just going to change here because of our time. Oh, let's change the initial value to be 5 and this one to be less or equal to 5. So this is less or equal to 5 and our initial value is 0, so that at least everyone will understand. And we put our plus increment. So I want to change now the syntax of writing the do while. We are simply saying, instead of putting the while, we now put the do. So the do while will start by executing the statement and will check the condition after. So we are saying that it will have the execution, it will execute the statement and it will check the condition while it is executing the statement. So we have got the initial value is 0, and we are saying please do what? Please enter the number and increment. But as it is incrementing, it will then check the condition, and that condition, the syntax, last time we didn't terminate our while statement, but this time, because it is not followed by the opening and the closing curly brace, we need to terminate that, and of course we put our return 0 like that. So this is how we write the do while. And if we are to run the program, you'll see that again it is going to run 0 up to 5. Now let's change and maybe verify if we are still running the correct program. We want to put 6 here. So this time we are saying our program is going to start from 1 and end at 6, like that. So as you can see, this is how the program is, how we write the do while function. Remember, we start with the do and end with the condition, and for the while we start with the while, and we don't have we put the while and the condition and the statement, and it will examine the body and execute the statement for the while. The do will examine the statement and execute and again analyze the condition lastly. So we want now to look at the for loop, which is another type, the last type of writing these functions. So I would allow me to delete some of the so we are saying for the for loop, we are saying we need to put the initial value and terminate. We need to put the condition. We said less or equal to 5 that time, and terminate, and we put our increment or decrement, and of course we put our opening and closing curly braces. In between we then put our statement. So I'm going to put the statement here, and of course I will do this. So you can also say that as you write the program, int num, for num is equals to 0, num is less than 5, num plus plus. So that is that. But we are saying if you want to run the program this time, you then say, maybe let's check again the condition. This time we just want it to start from 5, and it must end at 10. So if we run the program using the loop, that is that. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So this is all about loops.